Hi, how you doing? My name's Hutch. Thank you for showing interest in my home project. I think what motivated me to do this were the car shows you see on TV. Although very entertaining, and the guests on there are very knowledgeable people, I'll give them that. It doesn't reflect, I think, a lot of us in the hobby. So that was my main motivation, I think. I wanted to show how one man in a two-car garage with no lift, no millionaire's budget, and nothing but hand tools and air tools was able to take a car from start to finish and actually have a nice product when it's done. So that was kind of the inspiration behind this whole thing. And I'd probably said this a couple times until somebody said to me, you know what, why don't you shut up and do it? So, doing it. Anyway, I hope you're going to at least get a little something out of this. And I'm going to go with the presumption of trying to build this within the frame of maybe what a new car would cost today. A mid-size vehicle with a 4-cylinder or a V6 if you're lucky, probably going to run you somewhere between $14,000 and $18,000. So I'm going to go with $16,000 as a decent price range. And I think when I'm done for that $16,000, what you'd pay for a new vehicle, a 4-door, boring, 6-cylinder car that your mom or dad might drive. Hopefully I'm going to come away with something that kind of pegs out the fun meter. It'll be something that you could pull into a car show and somebody would go, ah, that's cool, I like that. So that's what I'm going to go with. First, what I did was I had in my head exactly what car I wanted, and I didn't budge off of that. I wanted a certain car, color, interior color. I knew exactly what I wanted, and then I just looked. I looked and looked and looked and looked, and then I found it. And when I found it, I went and drove it. I was like, you know what? This is a good starter car. This is probably perfect for what I have in mind. So I bought it. Now I got it. So what I intend on doing is going in phases, showing you different aspects of the build. And at every point, at the end of the video, I'm going to show you exactly to the dime how much I've spent up to that point to be able to build the car. And I think a lot of car shows you see them slap on all these parts in their hour show. And at the end, wow, it's great, but you have no idea, unless you've been in the business a while, how much they spent. I mean, they're putting on these huge disc brake kits, and you sit back and you look, that's $2,000 they just threw on in rotors and calipers. Some of us just can't do that. So I think it's going to be kind of interesting to see some of the ways I'm able to cut corners and stay within a realistic budget and get the car done. So is this going to be perfect? No. Is this going to be some high quality video? No. It's me at home in my garage, hand shooting me building a car. So if you can tolerate that, and you can tolerate my dumbass, then I think this might be a little entertaining for you. So I want to switch over to the table here, and I want to show you a couple things that I do every time that I get ready to jump into a vehicle or something that if you've never done this before or this is your first time out, maybe something good for you to know. Anyway, hold on, be right with you. Alright, if you've ever heard the saying that knowledge is power, that is 100% correct. And a couple examples of some knowledge that you're going to need to get is simply buying service manuals for your vehicle and picking up as many catalogs, magazine articles, whatever they happen to be. There is a ton of information out there, especially if you're doing a classic car, 60s and 70s. There's more info out there in the form of catalogs and restoration guides than you can shake a stick at. And if you're a little savvy with the internet, you can do like I've done here. I've actually put together my own source guide. I've tabbed it out by every single category that I thought was pertinent for what I was doing. Got engine fuel, different engine combinations, suspension and brakes, and a bunch of different tech tips. I put this all together in a binder, different articles from different hot rod magazines over the years, And I'm an avid collector of magazines, so I've got tons of magazines going back years and years. And once you get started on your project, you start looking through some of these articles, and you know what? That's what I'm doing. You know, that's exactly what I want to do. I'm going to put that in the book, highlight it, put it down, and I have just in a matter of a couple of weeks collected a ton of information off the internet. There's plenty of good sources out there, and I'll list them on the website if you look. And different combinations. You'll go online and find guys that'll write out every single thing that they did to their engine or their suspension, write it down. Some even go as far as showing the different dyno specs that they pulled off the engine when they were done. All this stuff is just loads of information. All this stuff is great to have. So I've collected a whole bunch of this stuff together, put it together in one binder so I can look at it, study it, come back to it. All this stuff is great. So it's one of the things you definitely want to try to get together.